Josh Turner didn't arrive in Nashville with industry connections or a polished image. He arrived with something rarer, a voice so deep and so genuine that it sounded less like a singing talent and more like a force of nature. And the story of how he used that voice, protected it, nearly lost it, and kept going anyway, is one worth sitting down for. He grew up in Hanna, South Carolina, a small rural community where Sunday mornings were the heartbeat of the week. Born in 1977, Josh was the youngest of 3 brothers in a family that didn't have much money, but had deep faith and even deeper roots. His earliest musical memory wasn't a concert or a radio hit. It was his great-grandfather's gospel records filling a modest living room with something warm and low and profoundly human. That sound planted a seed. By age 8, he was singing in church, not performing for applause, but responding to something inside himself that demanded an outlet. His voice didn't just develop during adolescence, it transformed. While other boys' voices cracked and climbed, Josh's dropped into a register so low it filled rooms with a presence that felt almost physical. People in Marion County talked about it the way they talked about unusual weather, with a mixture of wonder and mild disbelief. He eventually enrolled at Belmont University in Nashville, studying commercial music. It was there that a song he wrote called Long Black Train, a deeply spiritual piece about temptation and the choice to turn away from it, caught the attention of MCA Nashville. Within a short time, a kid from a town of fewer than 300 people had a record deal. The song debuted in 2003 and climbed to number 8 on the Billboard Country chart. His debut album went platinum. Then in 2004, at just 26 years old, he was inducted as a full member of the Grand Ole Opry, one of the youngest artists ever to receive that honor. His 2006 single, Your Man, spent 5 consecutive weeks at number 1. The career was real, and it was built on something equally real. But the cost was real too. Before any of that success, in 2001, he suffered a hemorrhagic vocal cord lesion that required surgery and weeks of enforced silence. For a man whose entire identity was wrapped up in his voice, that silence was existential. He later said there were days he genuinely didn't know if he'd ever sing again, or who he'd be if he couldn't. The voice came back whole, but the experience left a mark that shaped everything that followed. The touring years brought their own toll. Hundreds of shows, relentless travel, and the gradual physical erosion that comes with never fully stopping. Then, in 2014, a civil lawsuit brought allegations of sexual misconduct that, it must be noted, Josh Turner denied entirely, and which were ultimately settled out of court without a verdict. He responded with measured dignity, refusing to overreact and refusing to collapse. He said simply that he knew who he was and what he had and hadn't done. What grounded him through all of it was his wife Jennifer, whom he met at Belmont and married in 2003, and their 4 sons. He's spoken openly about fatherhood being the clearest answer to the question of what any of it is actually for. In 2018, he released a full gospel album called I Serve a Savior, not a commercial pivot, but a homecoming. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Christian chart. He's 47 now. The voice has aged the way great instruments age, not diminished, but deepened. If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe. There are more stories like this one that deserve to be told honestly.